iHeartRadio app or by sending us a message on the KFAN social channels. Now it's your reaction to all the action. Vikings Fan Line. Here's KFAN's Ron Johnson and Corey Cove.
Welcome to Minnesota Vikings Fan Line. Vikings win 2017 over the Washington Commanders. I'm Corey Cove from the Power Trip Morning Show. That's Ron Johnson. Hi, Ron.
Hey, how's it going, Corey?
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you finally.
You're always surprised when you
I
walk
am
in
very
and see
surprised. That's why I wore the black today. I was hoping you'd be here.
Yeah, a couple of weeks of me.
Okay.
Then you can go back to whoever. Ron, all season long, despite the 6-1 start, it's now 7-1. But despite the 6-1 start, the story has kind of been, we're getting kind of B-level football, but they keep finding ways to win. Outside of the first drive today, you could argue the first 3.5 quarters was like D-level Vikings football, right? Sure, you had the ref get in the way of Cam Bynum. You had some other very questionable calls.
Cam Bynum.
The Zadarius Smith face mask.
There was some his thumb got the face.
Even so, there were some weird calls, right? But for 3.5 quarters, this is about as bad as the Vikings could possibly look. They deserved to lose. Then they just turned it on, right? And how many times last year when we were doing the show, we said, like, look, they keep losing one-score games. Good teams find ways to win.
Yep.
Bad teams find ways to lose. Last year, all we did was find ways to lose. So even though I think we mostly played like trash today outside of the first half of the first quarter and the back half of the fourth, the middle 3 quarters were garbage.
Yeah.
But they found a way to win, and we should be excited that they found a way to win a game that normally past Vikings teams would have found a way to lose.
But honestly, I mean, the Justin Jefferson, Benjamin St. Juice, that was a pass interference that ended up being an interception. You got the interception that should have been a Vikings, at least a knockdown, but interception is probably not a touchdown if the ref doesn't absolutely decapitate Cam Bynum in the deep half. I mean, he ran a pick play for him. Like, he literally helped them out. And then if you look at some of the little small pieces here and there, Kirk Cousins getting hit, with the crown of the helmet by Cameron Payne, but they didn't throw the flag on that one. He has to go out for a play. Nick Mullins comes in, negative 3-yard pass. So there's just a lot of weird stuff that happened. And even Dalvin Cook's touchdown was a pass interference, and he got chucked past 5 yards, which you cannot hit a receiver, an active receiver. You cannot chuck him past 5 yards, and the DB did that trying to catch up and keep him from running by him. So there was a lot of little stuff that got passed up by these refs. But at the end of the day, like we said it. Last year, they lost the Cardinals. They lost to the Bengals. They lost all these close games. They lost to the Lions.
Weird ones,
all these close games. And this year, those same close games, they're winning, and they're 7-1. So now this is where the rubber meets the road. Everybody wants to see, who's gonna bring it. And it's the Bills game, the Cowboys game. Those 2 games are what everybody – and Patriots, Jets, but everybody's wondering, Cowboys, Bills, how the Vikings look. So the next one up is the Bills.
Yeah, the luck variance pendulum looked like it was swinging away from the Vikings today, right? After an entire season of mostly everything going our way when we needed a critical muffed punt or a turnover or something, it was going the Vikings' way. And then all of a sudden today – you have the referee running into Cam Bynum, and it seemed like everything was going the wrong way, and they still won 20-17, which that's the thing I don't understand. Ron, you played wide receiver. I'm sure you had to dodge referees all the time. I get it. You're in the field of play, right? The refs have to do the best they can to stay out of the way of the play.
Yeah.
The weirdest part about it is you could tell the ref clearly saw Cam, and his instinct wasn't to stop or back up or stay put.
It was to go low.
It was somehow I'm going to try to run through Cam Bynum. It's like, you think you're going to get past him before he gets to where he's going? Where do you think you're going? I would love to ask that back judge. In that little moment, where did you think you were going to go? Why not just stop?
He was trying to get. Who knows? I
don't get it.
He was in Atlantic City last night, I heard. So, hey. He has some money down.
I guess.
He was trying to make sure it went his way. And there's the other thing about it, too, though. They were down 7-17. They got back 10-17. Even after the touchdown, the Dalvin Cook touchdown, Greg Joseph makes a field goal. They jump over the guy's head or whatever. Normally, people are screaming, just take the 3 points. Take the 3 points, because in the past, the Vikings have screwed this up, and somehow, some way, they fumble a ball or something happens and everybody goes back saying, see, that's the same old Vikings. I wish they would have just kept the 3 points on the board, never take 3 points off just to go for 3 points again. But just like you say, play the numbers. What's the analytics say? Take as much time off the clock as you can,
Let's state the
and
obvious.
then win the game there. Greg Joseph last week Everybody was, we got to find a new kicker at the trade deadline. He's 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 in 50 to 59-yard field goals. Every other field goal, Daniel Carlson's a Hall of Famer, and we don't have – they didn't say anything to the kicker. They left Greg Joseph alone, and what did he do? He won the game this week. So maybe there's something to that too. Like there's a whole bunch of little things that might not have went the Vikings' way last year that are going their way now.
Washington's supposed to let Dalvin Cook just run into the end zone there. I don't think Dalvin had a lot of interest. Did you watch Dalvin kind of jump back and forth?
He stopped, yeah.
He was not trying to score either.
That's the Belichick. Belichick would have picked him up and carried him to the end zone.
He was trying to dance around the 3 or 4 like, look at I might
But that's
score.
why the Commanders are not a smart team. Their defense was not coached. They were thinking, let's stop him from scoring. Not realizing, by the time they realized what was going on, they had already wasted a timeout and it was too late. You got to pick him up and carry him into the end zone or make it completely blatant and egregious that he's trying to just stand there and then see if he goes down or if you can push him into the end zone. Because, that's what Belichick would have told his players. Hey, get around him and then push him forward. Let's see what happens, and create like a scrum so he can't go down and then get him in the end zone. And then let's try to get the ball back and see if we can tie this game up.
We talked a lot and we'll talk a lot, I assume, on the phone lines and on the talkback option on your iHeartRadio app about Cam Bynum, getting tackled by the back judge and costing us a touchdown and, of course, costing him an interception. He's in the locker room with Tatum Everett right now.
All right, in the locker room alongside Cam Bynum, after such a great win for you guys, being down, how do you always find, or at least the last few games, ways to gut it out there in the end?
That's just how we are. We're so close as a team. The chemistry, how we practice, everything. It's a mentality of we want the ball to be in our hands, and we want to be the guys that have to win the game. So that's how the offense thinks. That's how we think on defense. Same with special teams. So when it comes down to the game time, it's never any pressure.
All right, there is that one play that everyone keeps talking about, and that is the almost interception or referee interference. How do you bounce back from something like that?
Forgiveness. You got to practice forgiveness and know that was my play to make. But, on paper, the ref is part of the field, so there's no flag for it. There's nothing you can really do, to be honest. But it's frustrating, but you just got to know that you can't do anything about it. You got to play defense next series.
It looks like you were really, you had located the ball, and it was just going to fall right into your arm.
Yeah, it felt like a punt return. I was sitting back there. It was triple coverage. You threw the ball, and I was waiting for it, and wide open interception. Had space to run, but, can't do anything about it. We won, and that's all that matters.
The guy that plays alongside of you, Harrison Smith, his 3rd straight game with an interception. What kind of a momentum swing was that play today? He's
a dog. Straight up, Harry's a dog. So just knowing that he set up the field position, put us around, the 10-yard line about, or even closer, in the clutch. And for him to be able to make that play when it mattered and set up the offense to score, that's everything.
And 7-1 start, you now head to Buffalo, a team that lost today to the Jets. It's going to be a major battle up there in the snow. You're going to be out another outdoor game. What do you expect of this matchup coming up?
This is going to be a dogfight, just like every game in the NFL. Every team is capable to win, but we know we got to have a great week of practice, come out there and just ball. It's going to be a dogfight. We know that. We accepted that, but it's playing on a big stage. That's what we long for.
How good does 7-1 feel, Cam?
It feels good. I'm not going to lie. The plane ride is going to be fun.
Sure.
Locker room is turned up. But after today, we celebrate today. Back to work tomorrow.
There you go. Thank you so much, Cam Bynum. Appreciate you. Back up to you guys in the Twin Cities.
Man, a better attitude than I think I would have had, and also a better attitude probably than he would have had if it had cost him the game. I've only met Cam once, and he was super nice. It was at was it Toys for Tots or something, I think, a year or two ago at Shields. Super nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's an impressive dude, but man, that's a better attitude than I think I would have had. But again, it didn't end up costing us the game because they came back and won.
The thing about Cam Bynum, though, and Tatum said it, he located the ball. That was the big part. That's why he didn't see the ref. Like, if he was looking, he might have tried to avoid him too, but he was looking up, and then he probably it probably felt like just a blindside hit. And in his mind, I know at first, because Harrison Smith, all of them were all kind of like, what the hell just happened? Like, he was looking around pissed off. Harrison Smith was looking around pissed off. Patrick Peterson is like, what are we doing? And then at the flash of it, I thought they all ran into each other. I literally thought that was 4 Vikings. I didn't realize the guy in white was actually a referee.
But lost in the shuffle there is, let's say Cam Bynum doesn't run into the referee. Heineke still threw in a triple coverage.
And that was a pick. It was a pick.
Just chucked it up. I mean, that ball deserved to get picked off.
That was a YOLO.
And Cam Bynum was
that was a
to.
YOLO moment. That's exactly what he was doing when he thought he was going to get into the house when the doors were locked, and he just said, screw it. I'm about to kick the door open, and he kicked the glass instead. Like, that was a true YOLO moment, and if not for that ref, it worked out for him.
Man, Vikes win 2017. Vikes are 7-1. The Packers lost again. They lost to the Lions. I mean,
I thought the Lions were going to lose that game.
This division is over. I mean, you can just say it. I don't believe in jinxes, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not that powerful. But
you're our black cat.
Over, man.
You are a black cat.
It's
crazy.
You
wear Puma and you're dressed in black. You are a black cat. Do not say that. It's never over.
Yeah, it's over. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Minnesota Vikings football.
This is Minnesota's sports station. FM 100.3, KFXN, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The sports leader.
1-800-320-5326, or you can use that talk back option on the iHeartRadio app. It's a downloadable app that's free, of course. You should have it anyway to listen to the Power Trip, but definitely to use the talk back option to give us your thoughts on the 2017 victory over Washington. That's Ron Johnson. I'm Corey Cove. Tatum Everett will talk to Justin Jefferson after this. More of Minnesota Vikings Fan Line after this. This is Minnesota Vikings football.
At Evans, we know that defense and big stops wins you championships. But when it comes to logistics, moving forward is key. Ben Lieber here for my guys at Evans. If logistics were football, Evans would be an explosive offense, dropping dimes and hitting the gritty. Make Evans your favorite logistics team today. Evans will be your signal caller. You can jump on their backs and ride to victory. Get ahead of the competition right now and have a great experience while you're at it. Visit evanstrans.com. Again, evanstrans.com.
With its smart, sustainable solutions, Pentair helps you move water, improve water, and enjoy water for happier, healthier lives. From great tasting water straight from the kitchen faucet to energy-efficient pumping solutions and everywhere in between, we make the most of life's essential resources. Visit Pentair.com to learn more. Pentair, the official sustainable water partner of the Minnesota Vikings.
Would you be interested in something that tastes sweet and savory, low in fat and calories, a great source of protein and calcium that's easy to digest and includes more vitamins and minerals? Hi, this is Frankie Lensmeyer for The Humble Goat by Stickney Hill Dairy. Our team has created some delicious flavors like chocolate chip cannoli. We truly believe that children and adults will both enjoy our goat cheese. It's like a cream cheese, but more nutritious. Visit The Humble Goat on social media. We're award-winning. Ask your local grocer for The Humble Goat.
Nothing beats being in the stands for live Minnesota Vikings football. From those nail-biting passes to pivotal plays to the game-winning touchdowns. You can be there for all the action this season. As the official ticket marketplace of the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats so you never miss a game. Score tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Minnesota Vikings. Get your tickets today. That's Ticketmaster.com/Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings postgame conversation continues tomorrow on my show. It's Paul Allen, weekdays 9 to noon on FM 100.3 KFAN.
Back to pass, out of the shotgun, to the end zone, and it is caught. Is it in bounds? Yes! Touchdown, Vikings! He's JJ! And he catches his first touchdown since week 1 against Green Bay. Kirk Cousins has come back to FedEx Field and driven his team all the way down the field to take a 6-0 lead. It's a 9-yard touchdown pass, and the Vikings lead.
The Vikings come back and they win 2017 over Washington. Justin Jefferson, 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Also had 10 yards rushing. He is in the locker room with Tatum Everett.
All right, alongside Justin Jefferson here in the Vikings locker room. And Justin, I just saw you make a smile at Coach. And what do you have to say about how he's gotten you guys out to a 7-1 start?
Yeah, he's been doing a great job with us, just connecting with us, being a player's coach. And, we respect and we are all in everything that he has going. And ever since he came into the building, it's been like this. So, we're just happy to play for him, happy to have him. And, I mean, our offense is definitely looking better with him.
Yeah, I mean, you had a fantastic first half there, finally getting to see a receiving touchdown out of you. How did it feel being out there?
It felt great. I mean, the first drive set it all off. Us moving the ball quickly down the field and getting that touchdown to start it off. I thought it was going to be a blowout at that point. But, of course, we had some setbacks. They have a great defense on their side of the ball, a good line. So it's just minor setbacks, but, something that we can fix, come back into the meetings tomorrow. Tomorrow. And, get back to work.
What do you think gets lost in translation between that first scripted drive and maybe the fourth quarter where you guys seem to find the momentum again?
Right. It's football. You never really know exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. But just us having that fight all the way until the end of the game. Even though we was down 10. Was we down 10? We was down 10, right? Or 7?
Yeah, you were down 10.
10. Even though we was down 10, we still had that fight in us. We felt confident that we was going to go down, score. Defense is going to give us the ball back. So we're all just counting on each other, really. Us just being our brother's keeper.
How would you rate Dalvin Cook's receiving touchdown today?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It was a great catch. A running back. I said you about to be learning from somebody, but I just told him, I was like, man, that's a phenomenal catch during a crucial time. And he's a running back. You don't expect running backs to make those type of catches, but that shows you the different type of back he is.
And this obviously, Kirk didn't play up the fact that this was his return to Washington. However, I'm sure you guys felt like you needed a play for him. What was it like leading up to that point?
We're always going to play our best ball every single game. Well, we're going to try to. But to have Kirk come back to a team that he played for before, we knew what type of game it was going to be. We knew the atmosphere. We knew the Vikings fans mostly was packed out in the stadium, so a lot of score chants. But it was great to get this win and great to be 7-1.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. Congratulations. Back to you guys in Minnesota.
All right, thanks, Tatum. Ron, what do you think? That was Jefferson's answer, but what do you think happened between the middle of the first quarter after that scripted first drive through quarter 4? What went wrong for the Vikings offense?
I don't know if anything went wrong. I just feel like the
pressure, maybe.
I think the
defensive line pressure.
The wrong team name, but the Commanders. Yeah, I think they started to figure it out. Like you saw the nasty splits. It seemed like St. Juice kind of had the go ahead. Like, hey, if I'm close, and because you can see the safety wasn't really in position until the last minute. So whether that's a called corner blitz, some of the late linebacker blitzes, I think for some reason, and we talked about this with the Rams. The left guard seems like he's standing up, getting that final call from the quarterback. You see Ezra Cleveland do that now for the Vikings. So it's some kind of McVay, Kevin O'Connell. I don't know who started it. But it's like, hey, let's let the center stay forward because he already has to have his hand on the ball. It's easier for a guard to stand straight up and look backwards and then let everybody know, okay, we're good to go. Front is set. I'm just calling the wrong thing. Commanders, it seemed like they figured that out. They figured out, hey, let's time this up. And then let's get after him right at this moment. And yeah, even if you don't get home, they were hitting him. They were letting Kirk know they're there. So I think that's what it was. And then some of Kirk's even aggressive YOLO moments. If Justin Jefferson makes that one catch, if Adam Thielen makes that one catch, if Justin Jefferson makes that other deep, because the deep ball, everybody's like, oh, he underthrew him. But it's like, no, he just threw it up and gave his receiver a chance. It went straight through Justin Jefferson's hands.
Yeah, both hands.
That's why he couldn't, at first he looked like he wanted to get mad. Like, damn, dude, just throw it deep. I'm there. But then he kind of realized, man, I should have just caught that. I'm literally 40 yards downfield. I just catch this as a deep ball catch. Great play. So some of those little things, too, where you have to look at yourself. It can't all be on, the pressure. There were little moments where those guys should have made those plays, but pressure was part of it. But again, at the end of the day, they're 20-17, or they won 20-17.
How about right out of the gate, though? First drive, they relied on Hawkinson in a big spot for the game. He goes for 9 catches, 70 yards, and a lot of those were huge.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Connell said it. To have, Tuesday night is 10 p.m. is when they started working on the playbook. But I said this, all week, that it's going to be a Y tag. So meaning if I'm at tight end, I can tag the Y every once in a while to let him know his route. So if you go, spread whatever, trips left, tight end on the outside, Y flex, Y go, Y come back.
I understand everything you're saying right now, by the way.
The tight end is the Y. So if you tell him Y flex, you're telling him flex out wide.
Oh, I knew that.
And then you can say Y dig, Y go, Y corner, whatever. And now he knows his route because you're telling Y shallow. All right, I'm the wide, I got the shallow. So then you don't have to call like Florida or in Memphis or whatever. That's the play call. And then you're expecting him to know those exact routes and play calls. Just tag him for this week, make it easy on him, and then next week start to add more to it. But clearly, on the broadcast, they said this. We see it. It's been a while since Kyle Rudolph, since there's been a tight end that in the middle of the field, you can throw the ball, and he's a big pillowcase or a big mattress, as Kirk Cousins called him, that I can trust that at the end of the day, he's going to make this play for me. And now they have that in T.J. Hockenson.
I understood none of that. So you're saying he played well, though?
He played really well, but Kevin O'Connell, let's be for real. Kevin O'Connell did a great job of getting him ready. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, he won't tell us what he did, but I'm pretty sure a lot of his calls were tagged where it wasn't just the play call. It was, hey, Y has a flat or Y has a go or whatever, or we're in bunch, whatever, Y has a corner. Like he's making sure Hockenson knows his routes so that it's not one of those like getting to the line of scrimmage and he's having to talk to Justin. Hey, what do I have on this? You know, like you didn't see a lot of that.
Comeback win for the Vikes. They trailed by 10. They win 20-17 over Washington and former Vikings quarterback Taylor Heineke. Kirk Cousins going back to Washington for the first time since leaving there. He goes 22 of 40 for 265, a couple of touchdowns, and a end of the first half interception, which, again, I love that. Why not? Right? I know it sucks in the stats, but that's the right play. Chuck it up. It's halftime. So what? Anyway, 1-800-320-5326 or the talk back option on the iHeartRadio app. That's Ron. I'm Corey Moore of Fan Line after this. This is Minnesota Vikings football.
Going to the store, hon. Want to drive?
You're letting me drive your Chevy Equinox, but you're so overprotective.
Me?
You hired a pro wrestler to babysit me when I was little.
Ex-pro wrestler.
And you're letting me drive?
Let's go.
The 2022 Chevy Equinox with standard Chevy Safety Assist, because everyone could use more peace of mind. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Chevy Safety Assist includes automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane keep assistant, lane departure warning, forward collision alert, and telebeam and follow distance indicator. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the vehicle owner's manual for important feature limitations and information.
All right, who's ready to go to soccer, huh?
Yes!
It started as a normal Saturday, but then...
Oh, no. Sounds like the battery.
That's when their plans took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I knew I should have had the battery checked.
Dad, look at the birds.
Those are vultures!
Don't let a bad battery turn your day into a B-rated horror film. Get your battery checked today. Need a new one? Reach for what works. A battery from FVP. Verified, proven.
How would I describe Mystic Lake? Well, it usually starts with some... Then a snack break with and some front row. Then another round of... Oh, don't forget the reservation. Followed by some Lux.
Room service.
So, Mystic tonight? Because it sounds like a win. Mystic Lake is a proud partner of the Minnesota Vikings. This season, join us for Thursday Night Lights, where you can win up to $1,000 Mystic Cash and a Minnesota Vikings prize pack.
What do dads care about? Minnesota Vikings football. It's finally football season, and we want all the dads to know that they inspire us with their love and care. Return the care for the man in your life by giving dad products from Dove Men. Dove Men believes that caring for others starts with caring for yourself. It's why care is at the core of everything they do. So whether he's looking for a deodorant to keep him fresh and dry all day, or a body wash that provides hydration for healthier skin, or shampoo that leaves hair stronger and more resilient, Dove Men Plus Care will give him the care and protection he deserves. We know care makes us all stronger, both on and off the field.
Minnesota Wild LA Kings, Tuesday night at 9:30. On the station for Minnesota Wild Hockey, FM 100.3, KFAN, The Fan.
Heineke's out of the shotgun play action. Taylor, he runs away from Za'Darius. A rare deep shot, and it is caught inside the 5. And rolling into the end zone is Curtis Samuel, touchdown. Now, Harrison Smith had an interception.
It was Cameron Bynum that ran into the official.
Yeah, and
fell down.
Right. Yeah, Bynum ran into the official. I thought it was the hitman. He would have had a pick, and instead Samuel.
The rule of the field is a pick for a touchdown.
I am so glad I'm not calling in to complain about the ref totally taking the momentum out of us and giving it right to the Commanders. This team is super resilient. We're never out of it. Skol.
I had a coach once tell me you have to be so good that no lucky play or no bad call can beat you. That's what they did today. Love watching them come from behind. Let you guys take it. Thanks.
Yeah, it's the play that everybody's going to be talking about is the Cam Bynum running into the back judge, as Pete and PA just said. But really, the truth is the back judge ran into him.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
100%.
It's. I just do not understand where that guy was going.
He beelined left and ran like he ducked his shoulder and realized, I got to protect myself at this. Like, you're right. Just go down. Like, at that point, just fall to the ground. You don't need to see. I mean, I get it. He's trying to get in position just in case, but you're not. Even if it was a pass interference, you're not going to see it. Like, he wouldn't have saw it at that point because his head was turned to, like, literally, like you said, run Cam Bynum over. And then he falls down and lays on the ground like a kid who doesn't want to put his snow boots on, you know, because it's time to leave.
You ever seen those videos of somebody crossing the street and then they realize a motorcycle or a car is coming?
And they just stop.
Well, so they do one of two things. I think it's just human nature. They either stop or they try to run forward. Even if the smartest play is I should just hit the brakes and go backwards.
Right.
I think it's human nature to run, right? Just fight or flight. It's like flight. I'm going forward. I think that's kind of what the ref did, but it's just in slow motion, it just looks like I'm going to run right through him as if he doesn't exist.
If the play is in front, and I get it. So this is the thing about referees, their job. You're supposed to stay deeper than the play and be in position to see a pass interference. Make sure you can see where, if it's a touchdown. He didn't see any of it. That's the reason why they had to go to, like, the other ref on the other side called it a touchdown. And they're looking at him and he's like, I don't know. Let's go to review. Because he literally did not see it. He had no idea.
Too? We keep talking about, especially with the last election a couple of years ago, that like we got a couple of dudes that are 80 that are running for president, right? At some point, can we find somebody that's younger?
Correct.
I feel the same way about NFL officials. Can we get some guys that are 25, 30 that are just as athletic as the players?
But this is the problem
close,
with that, though.
That can keep up with these players and maybe, I don't know, avoid somebody that is just waiting for a ball to float down and get intercepted. Get out of the way, old man. I don't know if that guy's 40, 50, 60. He should be 24 and not one day older.
Well, the problem is if they don't leave, there's not enough crews. You know what I mean? Like, some of these guys have to start retiring and leave and or get fired.
Why don't we have the maximum age be 30? I just bumped it from 24 to 30.
30-year-old
Once you're 30, you have
done.
You get pension and you're done.
Like, I see the 40, 50 if you're in shape, but I do feel like there should be.
Well, yeah, if you're Ed Hockley and you can bench press
that's what I mean.
a car.
There should be some kind of physical, like an
obstacle
drive
course.
or like the driving test. Like, you have to always I feel like older people should always have to take the driver's test.
Like the Eliminator from American Gladiators. If you can complete that, you can continue to be an NFL official. If you can't, or at least get out of the way of a player, you are eliminated.
I like it. I feel like that's a fantasy football punishment for the loser for you guys one year. Like, the loser has to go through a American Gladiators gauntlet.
I feel like I just pitched a reality TV show to a bunch of networks and nobody's listening. Connor from Milwaukee. Hi, Connor.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, just wanted to kind of touch base, kind of out of the loop here, but so I'm out in Milwaukee, obviously, and I've been out here for about 3 years. It's been an absolute battle with the Packers doing so well the past 2 years and us not so good the past 2 years. But kind of wanted to talk about how pathetic Packer fans really are. I got plenty of buddies out here, and they've been reaching out after they lose games and we win games, and they still bring up how many Super Bowls without me even saying anything to these guys. So obviously this 7-1, it feels unbelievable, but having the Packers being 3-6, it makes this 7-1 feel so much better, and it makes Mondays 10 times better walking into the office. So, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. But lastly, the best thing about being 7-1 is the chance of going 8-1 next week. Skol Vikes, boys. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
5 straight losses for the Green Bay Packers, including today 15-9 to the Lions, your Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And Ron, it's not getting any easier. Dallas, Tennessee, and Philly are their next 3. They still have to go at Chicago.
They can go 1-2 in that.
Right. They still have the Rams, at Miami, the Vikes, and then Detroit again. I mean, I think the fall is legit, right? This is not a fluke that they've lost 5 straight. I think it's only going to get worse.
Time to play Jordan Love.
That's barring a Kirk Cousins injury, this thing is over. Yeah. Right? The Lions ain't catching us. The Packers ain't catching us. The Bears are way too inconsistent. This is our division. It's going to be crazy in December to not have to sweat the Packers and just worry about our seeding.
Yeah, true. No, and that's the thing about the Packers, though, is it felt like at one point they were tanking, but then it's like, there's nothing out there to tank for. Like, if Aaron Rodgers is done, if he's truly done, are they taking for a quarterback? Do they already know what's going? Like, because there's stuff going on behind the scenes. People keep saying, like, what is he saying on the phone when he keeps getting on the phone? It's like, because he looks pissed off and he's slamming the phone back into the device. It's not like a happy conversation. So who knows what's going on around there? Like, they keep trying to make it sound like they tried to trade to help him out with Darren Waller and Chase Claypool. But every year they say that we tried to trade with this guy, or we tried to trade with that. And it didn't work out. Christian Watson, like, This Kwesi draft trades and the trade with the Lions, they're looking better and better every time. Yeah, the draft class hasn't played much besides Ed Ingram, but hey, this is like it's starting to work out a little bit because he's building pieces. He had pieces to go get T.J. Hawkinson. Who knew that would happen? I mean, if Irv Smith doesn't get hurt, they might not have tried to make that trade. So,
which is too bad, right? Because Hawkinson's legit. We're going to have to figure out the money moving forward.
Correct, because he wants to be top tight end paid, and we just gave him 9 catches today for 70 yards, and he hasn't even touched the ceiling of the red zone fade route that he can run. The fact that they put him out wide numerous times today, and we didn't see much of that in the first 7 games of the season, and now all of a sudden your tight end is out wide, and that looks really sexy with that group with Justin Jefferson in the slot, Hawkinson out wide. I mean, Hawkinson was wide open on that shallow or on that flat route because Justin Jefferson was with them. I mean, it's going to get nastier and nastier with some of the things Kevin O'Connell can do. And now he has a reason to stay up late, not just to feed the baby, because now he's going to have to come up with more and more plays for T.J. Hawkinson. So it's it's a dual effort now. He can tell the wife, hey, go to bed. I'll stay up late and feed the baby. But he's really just working on plays, and the baby's in the cradle. What
do you think is going to happen now? The Vikings are 7-1, and their only loss is to an undefeated Eagles squad who is 8-0, right?
Yeah.
So is this the game?
Eagles-Vikings back in the NFC Championship.
But is this the game where the national media and national sports writers, national people that follow the NFL finally start saying, this team is legit? Or are they going to look at it again and go, man, that was an ugly, disgusting, weird, quirky win over Washington? The Vikings still aren't legit.
No, from a national standpoint, I was on Pat McAfee's show this past week, and so
Must be nice.
me, Pat McAfee, and Darius Butler chopped it up for a bit before the show, after the show. And this is the one thing that the national guys can, and I think Darius Butler is going to come on my show this week, and then Pat probably later next week. But this is the reason why. When you look at what Pat McAfee was saying, is it's the trust in Kirk Cousins. Can you truly trust Kirk Cousins down the stretch? Yeah. We will find out these next 2 games.
What do you think? I think the answer is yes. I trust Kirk.
I think we've never, and this is what I said, because they asked me that question. They're like, oh, well, this 6-1, Vikings outfit, are they really 6-1? And I was like, when's the last time Kirk had a coach? If you actually watched the You Like That video today, did you see how pissed off he was when he looked over to the, as he walked past the green room to the Washington football team, group of people there? He was not happy with how they were franchised. I mean, even though he was getting $22 million, but he wasn't happy with being franchised. I would be okay with $44 million in 2 years, but that's just me. But he wasn't happy that he wasn't getting the long-term money. He wasn't happy they weren't turning the keys to the organization over to him. It was a little bit back and forth. Sometimes Jerry Gruden liked him. Sometimes he didn't. The owner, Dan Snyder, said start him, don't start him. RG3 is our future. All kinds of crap. So now you look at him now, and Kevin O'Connell truly believes it. You got a coach after your own touchdown saying, I like that. I like he's playing it to it. He's talking about Kirk Cousins have the T-shirt tucked into his sweatpants. That's trust and love when I can throw a pick and I can come off the sideline and me and the coach are just going to chop it up and he's going to tell me exactly what happened. Hey, St. Jude's made a play. They tipped it. It was a pick. Hey, let's live and learn. Let's move on. I need you to do it again. That deep ball he threw to Adam Thielen. Miscommunication between the two of them. What happened? He comes back, boom, hits Thielen on a deep over. Why? Because they're playing over the top. So you know what? Let's use that. We know the first time you were wrong. They were over the top. Second time, all right, they're going to play quarters. Run the deep over. Kirk, I need you to throw a perfect ball. Split the linebacker and that safety. Thielen will be wide open. That's the in-game adjustment stuff that we didn't see before.
But isn't the trust come back? What equity does Jalen Hurts have, right? He hasn't done it yet either. He's playing unbelievably well.
True, but his team looks a lot better.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in terms of the people that always say, well, Cousins isn't good enough to win us a Super Bowl.
Right.
Jalen Hurts looks like he's going to be.
Right.
Maybe he's even ready, but it's not like he has playoff equity either. So do the Eagles fans trust Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, because when the crap hits the
postseason?
fan with Hurts, he's going to give you 15 to 20 yards with his legs.
Maybe.
I think that's the big difference is when the pocket collapses with Kirk.
I don't understand the
Today
Kirk
he made the
can't
decisions,
win the big game theory.
He has to win it. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, but that's all of these guys.
Who has faith in you to win a poker tournament?
No one. Ask my wife.
But if you win, then eventually we're going to be like, this is the next Chris Moneymaker.
Outside of the top 6-7 quarterbacks, right? The Bradys, the Aaron Rodgers, all these guys. That second group, none of them have done it. Jalen Hurts hasn't done it. So
Michael Jordan never beat the Pistons, and then eventually he started kicking the Pistons' ass. So it's all about it. It just takes time, and maybe Kirk Cousins never does it. Maybe he doesn't do it. But
or maybe
like I said,
the
Bills game, he has to, even if they lose, because it's at home, you have the crowd noise. Just Josh Allen, we just watched him today run a long touchdown again.
Zach Wilson just beat the Bills.
Yeah, but Josh Allen is a nasty piece of work when he gets outside the pocket because he can still throw it deep to Stephon Diggs. So if Kirk Cousins looks competent and if they do well and then he comes back 2 primetime games after that, Thanksgiving even, like he has to, like the next 4 games, because I saw Meat Sauce say the Vikings are going to lose the next 4. Well, they won this one. But the next...
You can't pay attention to his Twitter account.
I can't? Why not?
Because every 3 seconds it changes.
Oh, he's... Okay.
Yeah, it's the bid.
But anyway, but he's saying what the fans probably are thinking. Oh, my God, we suck. We're about to lose to the Washington Commanders. And, hey, he did it. He found a way to win this game. You got to look at the next ones. He's got to look competent against the Bills defense and Leslie Frazier. He's got to look really competent against Micah Parsons and his Cowboys team. Bill Belichick's going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And then you got Thanksgiving. So, I mean, he's got to be competent. He's got to come out there and give you 260, 270 yards, maybe 350. TJ Hawkinson's got to be utilized. He'll learn his offense in the next 4 games. Like, if he does that in prime time, then people are like, you know what? This is the NFC. This is going to be in the NFC Championship. Vikings, Eagles in Philadelphia, unless now somebody can find a way to beat the Eagles.
We'll see. Vikings 20, Washington 17. The Vikes are 7-1. Washington falls to 4-5. That's Ron Johnson. I'm Corey Coe from the Power Trip Morning Show, and this is the KFAN Minnesota Vikings Radio Network, driven by Polaris.
Tom Lydon here from Fox 9 to tell you we're bringing back our award-winning series, Minnesota Untold. Tomorrow on Fox 9 News at 9, a different kind of look at the epidemic of homelessness. You see all these encampments in our parks and around the cities. Well, there's a fascinating historical parallel with Minneapolis' Skid Row 60 years ago. They were dealing with some of the same issues: addiction, crime, housing. Is there a lesson from the past in how we treat the unwanted? That's tomorrow night, Minnesota Untold, on Fox 9 News at 9.
Hey, Vikings fans, when you stay at Omni Viking Lakes, you stay at the official hotel of your favorite team. We built this place just for real fans like yourself, even putting it right next to the practice facility. Walk in the hotel, and it's like walking into Vikings heaven. You've dreamt of a place like this, and now you can dream in a place like this. Score! So Vikings fans, when you're looking for a place to stay in the game at Omni Viking Lakes, the official hotel of the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey fans, Pilot Games has teamed up with the Minnesota Vikings to create the Vikings Victory electronic pull tab game. Play in more than 1,700 bars across the state and win up to $1,500 in the Skull bonus game. Pilot Games is the largest charitable gaming provider in the state. When you play Vikings Victory, your community wins. Play Vikings Victory today, anywhere Pilot's electronic pull tabs are offered. Visit pilotgames.com for more information.
Hey, so listen up. Quick Trip is teaming up with your Northland Ford dealers to give away a new Ford F-150 to one of you lucky Vikings fans and the opening drive sweepstakes. Just fuel up at Quick Trip with any of our fully guaranteed gasolines, use your Quick Rewards card, and you're entered. Weekly winners win a $10 gas card for every yard returned on the Vikings opening drive and a shot at winning a Ford F-150. Hey, Vikings score on that opening drive, it's an extra $500 for you. See quicktrip.com/sweepstakes for details, and see you next time.
Your home for all things purple.
Oh, he's hit and he's sacked.
FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
2nd and 11 from the Commanders, 30 in the fourth quarter. Washington leads 17-10. Heineke eyeballing somebody, throws it over the middle, intercepted by the hitman. Let's go, boy, to the 30-25. Angles to the right to the 20, and he's taken down at the 15. Go ahead and beat Taylor Heineke.
Tired of not going for 7 in that last fourth quarter. We should have gone for it instead of relying on Joseph. But Harrison's bowling moves, he's a true 300. This is Angie from Nisswa.
All right, thanks for the call. Completely disagree with her take on the going for 7, but that's all right. Again, if Washington was smart, they should have let Dalvin Cook just score. And of course, the theory is that if you let him score, then you have at least a minute and a half or something to try to get the game.
It was like
tying.
152 at that
whatever
minute,
it is. Then you try to get the game tying touchdown, or even go for 2 and just try to win it in regulation. If you don't, if you just let Dalvin run around and then get tackled at the 4, then the chances that Greg Joseph misses that field goal is what? I mean,
well, in Vikings, it's 50-50.
Well, with the Vikings, sure. But in
reality,
94%, 93%, whatever. So basically, you're saying you're giving yourself almost no chance to win. I don't know. I like exactly how they did it. I think that's the right play.
Right. And it was weird. I don't know if like you could hear the crowd on both field goals. I couldn't tell if he made it or missed it at first because it was like a weird angle. And then the crowd cheered, but then I forgot it was so many Vikings fans down there. So in my mind, I'm like, wait, did this dude just hit it off the uprights or something?
Right.
And then, but what it was the cheer. It was the delay of the refs. And then that flag, that's what kind of created, because everybody, like both sides cheered thinking like, oh, is it a flag against the Vikings? Is it a flag against us? Nobody knew. And that's why it was just everybody was cheering until then you heard the boos when they realized the dude jumped on top of the center's head.
Sure. I'm going to be super curious. I hope somebody from Washington's media asked Ron Rivera, did you try to let Dalvin score? Was there a conversation about letting Dalvin score?
Going on in that moment.
Well, then that's not good. I mean, again, I want my head coaches to understand those situations. And again, no offense to Mike Zimmer over the last almost decade, but I just felt like there were a lot of those moments where you're like, I don't know if Zimmer gets that part of the game.
Right.
And I don't know if Ron Rivera did either today.
He probably didn't.
And Ron's had some new age decisions though in the last handful of years. He's not opposed to.
Oh, he has an analytics person. Like they hired somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's not one of those guys. I'm just saying I wonder why he wasn't more obvious about letting Dalvin just get in.
Right. And maybe he was thinking, maybe like his first play, he might have thought like, oh, are the Vikings going to try to get 7 here? Because they did try before that. Like, so what was the purpose of getting it down, and going for it, and then, okay, let's just kick the field goal here.
Before the 2-minute warning, it makes sense. Right.
More. But he just doesn't. I don't think he was thinking. I don't think he thought past that. He's like, oh crap, we just got to flag this idiot. Now everybody has to go back out there. And then that first play happened. They called the timeout, and then at that point, it's like, oh crap, it's too late now. And but he should have just opened up the floodgates on that first one and just pulled them through and say go score.
Connor from Cottage Grove, you're on Fan Line. Hi, Connor.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Ron, Corey, appreciate it. My question is, I was listening to a press conference, and they were talking about how, is this team ever going to reach their full potential? Well, what if this is their full potential? I mean, I think they've won some really close games. They've done a great job. This Washington defense wasn't, anything to scoff at. So if this is their potential, do you think they could go that far? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I think the short answer is yes, Ron. Mm-hmm. I think if you were, I think we've talked about this a lot on the Power Trip Morning Show in the last couple of weeks. If there was a year that I can remember where it's perfect to be a good team that has a lucky streak to them, it's this one. Because I think the NFL is wide open. If you're asking, who can they not beat? I think they could beat Philadelphia. I think they could beat Buffalo. We saw it today. The Jets beat Buffalo, right? I think they could beat Kansas City. There's a whole bunch of teams that I think the Vikings could beat on the right day at the right time with the right things going their way. I don't think there's one team that's an unstoppable force. I still think the Bills are better. I still think the Eagles are better. I think the Chiefs are better. But a lot of those other teams, right, that we thought before the year had a much better chance than the Vikings, like the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Rams. I think we're better than those teams. The Niners are a little bit interesting now with Christian McCaffrey. I don't know how the Niners are going to play in. Dallas is improving. I don't think the Giants are for real, but the Giants have had a good year so far, right? There's a handful of teams that are in the middle that I think are going to give the Vikings and Eagles and other teams problems, but I think this thing is wide open. So I don't think we've seen the max potential of the Vikings yet, but I think that was Connor's point, is that maybe we're waiting for something that we're never going to see because they're not good enough to just blow somebody out by 40.
Right.
They're not the 98 Vikings where they just put the pedal down and you can't stop them. Maybe we are just to grind it out and find weird ways to win because we're a deep enough team where we can do that. That means I still think sky's the limit. I don't think it's super likely, but I don't know. Why not? Why not us this year?
Yeah, and with this team, they're still learning. They're learning look at Danielle Hunter. We talked about being up in the 2-point stands and how the lack of pass rush, he was getting in how Darius was just blowing it out the water. Well, today what happened? They went in a hybrid 3-4 look. His hand was in the ground, but he was actually a linebacker. But that's the key. And then you have 2 standing linebackers behind him. You have Zadarius standing up to the right. It was like a hybrid look. They had the nickel in the game. So it was more like a 2 – I don't even know what you call that. Like it was 2 down linemen. Daniil was a backer with his hand in the ground. He has Darius standing up. So whether they call it their nickel package with, just 2 down, whatever it is, it worked. Like Daniil with his hand in and then when they put Daniil with his hand in the ground outside of Zadarius standing up, if I'm a tackle and a guard, what do? Like you got to man up both of these guys, or you got to say, hey, guard or center, you need to fan protection this way, plus I need to run it back to fan to this side. Well, now you leave the other side with DJ Wandham, which we saw. He got pressure today as well. You leave that side. So the amount of things, then we saw the A-gap mug. Even though they didn't rush, they backed out. But the amount of packages that Ed Donatel can put together with his defense, they have to learn that. So Danielle Hunter clearly is going to get better as we go through this thing. Offensively, there's a lot of choice routes. So Kirk Cousins has to learn, and the receivers and quarterback have to get on the same page. They're learning what that choice route feels like. That's why it feels like Kirk Cousins holds the ball sometimes a little too long. He has to because the receiver hasn't declared his route yet at the top of the route tree. So once they get all that, I think that's when they're hitting on all cylinders. Like that's what the Rams were last year. They got to a point where it was clockwork, where Stafford's throwing it because he already knows. Even though you have a choice, I know what choice you're going to make. And these guys just got this offense last year. Like, not even last year. They just got it like in August or July. Whenever Kevin, I don't remember when he got here, June, July, whatever that was, or May, who knows. But they're just getting to this. And then even through training camp, you can't put it all out there because you're going to cut guys. So August is really when they're diving into this. So this team has not reached its full potential. Like, there's so much more they can do. But, again, they're 7-1, and I still think there's a lot of room to grow. So that's what's scary about this team.
So let's say dude from Washington doesn't jump over Andrew DePaula and get that flag, right? And doesn't give the Vikings an automatic first down.
Yep.
Give me the percentage of time in your head, your opinion. Taylor Heineke leads the Washington Commanders on a comeback touchdown drive that wins the game. Like, do you think Washington wins the game?
What's my percent?
With a minute and a half to go, whatever it would
at that point, the way that pass rush is going, and he has to pass now, it's a probably 22% chance he wins that game. Like, I do think he probably could have got him in field goal range and tied and gone to overtime, and that's where it gets scary. But actually winning it, no, I don't think he'd have won it. I think he probably would have got him in field goal range because they were, like, in that situation, that's the worst situation sometimes is playing prevent. But then because all that underneath, you got a guy in Terry McLaurin who's extremely fast, so you get it to him in the middle. You got Samuels in the middle. Like, it could have been very scary, but never got to it. And that guy ruined it.
Yeah, and credit to the Vikings defense. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 56 yards. I think we'll take that, right? When he's your most dangerous threat out of the entire staff there at Washington, the entire roster. 5 for 56, we'll take that. 1-800-320-5326, or you can go to the talk back option on the iHeartRadio app. That is the end of Network Fan Line. So if you're out there on the Vikings Radio Network, you can continue to listen to Vikings Fan Line on the iHeartRadio app. Just download it on your phone. You should have it anyway for the Power Trip Morning Show. And then we'll take some more calls and react to those talkbacks locally, and then eventually Vikings Overtime with Nardo and Sauce as well. That's Ron Johnson. I'm Corey Cove. Vikings win 20-17 over Washington. The Vikes are 7-1. And this has been the KFAN Minnesota Vikings Radio Network, driven by Polaris.
Brianna is a 24-year member of LIUNA, the Construction Laborers Union.
I am proud to be part of a growing number of women in the union construction trades. I've learned that the work is more about effort and commitment than physical strength. I do all things men do, including working with the 90-pound jackhammer on demolition projects. Being a part of LIUNA has helped me earn great pay and benefits, including a pension and health coverage. I also get free training that has helped me work in every market sector out there, from roads to public buildings to energy. With LIUNA, we're building a better Minnesota.
Visit buildthenorth.org.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
I started my power line company with just a few contracts. Rachel from Choice Bank helped me grow my business with equipment financing through the SBA. Now I have more time for line dancing. Rachel helps me reach my goals, from my business to my boot scoot boogie. I'm Lou. I'm a lineman by trade, but a line dancer by choice.
Choice Bank. We're committed to your business, your success, and to you. It's what we mean by People First Banking. Go to bankwithchoice.com.
Hey, fans of the purple and gold, it's Paul Allen. And if you're sick of trying to tackle your deck maintenance, then rush over to TimberTech. TimberTech looks more like real wood than any other composite brand. And it's tough enough to handle even the harshest Minnesota weather. Want to lock up some protection too? TimberTech offers warranties that give you up to 50 years of coverage. So if you're ready to build the perfect place to kick back at kickoff this season, visit TimberTech.com to get free samples. TimberTech. Everything wood should be.
Hey, it's Chris Hockey here with my buddy Ian Youngstedt, and there's a lot going on in November, especially at the car wash and detail centers, aren't there?
Yeah, hey, Hockey. Right now, you can buy 1 month of an unlimited car wash membership and get 1 month free at any of our 3 car washes, Chanhassen, Excelsior, or Maple Grove.
Now, it's also a great time to get new tires with manufacturer rebates up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires.
Yeah, that's true. And as always, you get a $50 Youngsteds promotional gift card with any set of 4 tires. So that's a savings of $250.
Check it out at youngsteds.com. What's that saying?
Our family taking care of your family since 1971.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Girl Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the kale crunch salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Jamie's log. Progressive. The Harrington's backyard. Day 27. 3:33 a.m. 333. All those threes mean something. Or I may be losing it. Been camped in the Harrington's backyard for 27 days now, proving that Progressive has 24/7 protection. They told me every day they understand what 24/7 protection means. Think I'm finally getting through to them. 333.
Progressive doesn't just offer a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, just not literally from Jamie. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
In Minnesota, winning is everything. And on the road, that means Honda, America's most fuel-efficient, full-line automaker. And this year, Honda's made some exciting new lineup changes, starting with the all-new Honda HR-V. And coming soon, even more redesigned Honda SUVs. So don't wait. For attractive financing on Honda's all-star lineup, see your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer to reserve or buy your Honda today. Based on EPA estimate of model year 2020 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy. 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
Your home for all things purple.
Caught! Yes!
FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
Fan Line on iHeartRadio and The Fan are presented by our broadcast partners. Minnesota Credit Union Network, Youngsted's, Carboni's Pizzeria, and by your local Chevy dealers. Join the conversation on Vikings Fan Line by calling 800-320-5326 using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app or by sending us a message on the KFAN social channels. Now, continuing to take your calls, talkbacks, and social message, this is Vikings Fan Line with Ron Johnson and KFAN's Corey Cove.
All right, welcome back to Minnesota Vikings Fan Line. I'm Corey Cove from the Power Trip Morning Show. There's former Gopher wide receiver Ron Johnson, former NFL wide receiver too, but I like saying Gopher wide receiver.
I like the Gophers too.
Yeah, they got it done this weekend.
They did.
Got dicey for a second, right?
Really dicey. Hey,
finally
you know what?
snapped that 10-point deficit streak.
Exactly. These games were mirror images.
Pretty
Both
close.
teams were down 10 points and came back and won. Hey.
Both of them had to rely on backup quarterbacks. Nick Mullins for one play.
Yep. Ethan
Galifianakis or whatever his name is.
Galifianakis.
Yeah.
But both were number 8. The number 8 for the Gophers and number 8 for the Vikings. Got it done.
Yeah, that was a big win.
Huge
That looked really bad in the first half, but your squad got it done.
Huge.
TJ Hawkinson, 9 catches, 70 yards. Thielen, 3 catches for 67. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 115 and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, 17 carries, 47 yards on the ground. The ground game just wasn't there today. No push out of the offensive line. Kirk Cousins, 22 of 42, 65, 2 touchdowns, and a pick as the Vikings go on to win 20-17. 7-1. Pretty good. Let's go to the phones. Saul and Blaine. Hi, Saul.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. What you got?
Oh, hey. First off, it's a great day. You know, the end of the Packers' 30-year run with having two stud quarterbacks looks like it's coming to an end, which is great. So we can finally, start celebrating that. Second, it's not always pretty at times, but this team's 7-1. This is a well-coached team. You know, I love Zimmer, and he inherited a really bad defense when he took over the team and made that defense, you know, a lot of it. There's some players that are still here, but yeah, it was bad. But third most, just we I lost my train of thought.
It's all good. You were killing it.
That's like that TikTok where they be like, I'm old. I don't know what I came here to do.
You got it.
You got this. Or you don't.
No, but
God, did you lose it again? You had it. Saul, I heard it. You had your thought. You reset it, and then you lost it again. You should have written it down. You had like 10 seconds to write it down.
Corey, don't cut me off, man. Don't cut me off. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get it back, man. I've been on hold for an hour and 20 minutes.
All right, you got it. We're gonna give you 10 seconds to get that third point. I know you have it.
I know I do, bud.
Go for it. Oh, for God's sakes, you lost it. You had it, man.
No, it's no. Seriously, it's,
make something up. Just come up with something off the top of your head. Think of a different thought.
No, it's just. It's we. The Packers. They're literally they're done. We got this division for the next probably 3-4 years going on, and it's. It's just it's nice to see. You know, this is a well-coached team. We literally that was my point. Situational coaching, that's the big point. And no. The don't let me off, but that bind and pick play, I got a point on that. But situational football, I like the way that we're coached. It ain't pretty, but we're winning. But on that bind and pick play where they literally got a free touchdown, that should be reviewed when they have their meetings with, the rules committee, so on and so forth. That should be an offsetting penalty, kind of like when you have an offensive, defensive, penalty or whatever, where it's like we replay it down. That should have been replayed. That was Bush League. I saw it. I had the radio on. Bursich basically reiterated the way I felt. That should not have been a touchdown. That was so bad. But
all right, thanks for the call, dude.
Guys.
Solid. So the only problem with that, of course, is that you could just truck a ref once in a while to get the play wiped away. In fact, that would be kind of fun. Right?
I mean, people have used the ref
anywhere near. You just truck them.
Well, coaches have called plays to use refs on shallows, like the double shallow cross. They always say find the ref and then run it off him. Mm-hmm. And so that's been a thing before. That's why that whole hey, he's part of the play, because DBs get pissed off all the time when they run into the ref underneath. And so the whole point of, I forgot what they did, but they started moving guys around so that wouldn't happen. And now that guy is 40 yards down the field. Like, just stand still. Literally, once they run by you, just turn around and watch them. Just turn around, don't move. If they hit you and you don't move, then that's on them.
All right, and this doesn't matter. The Vikings went on to win.
Yeah,
but let me ask you this. When you watch the replay, right, forget the Cam Bynum part of it, because technically it's the field and it's the rule, and even Cam Bynum's got a good attitude about it. Was that Samuel that caught that ball?
Yeah.
Must have been Samuel, right? Once he once he hit the ground, nobody touched him before he got into the end zone. But did you think that Harrison Smith still was touching him when the ball first got into his hands? I thought that could have been the only argument that he should have been down at the 1. Is not that he was touched on the ground, is that Harrison touched him
on the way
while
down.
he was catching it.
Yeah.
And then he hits the ground and then he gets into the end zone. So I was a little surprised they didn't say he was down at the 1. Ultimately, it didn't matter, and maybe they punch it in anyway. But I thought that was a little nitpicky, but I thought you could have maybe argued that Harrison had a hand on his shoulder right when the ball was hitting his hands.
Yeah, he did, because he put his hand up to block it, but then you can see he kind of pulled his hands back at the last minute. Like, I don't want to get a pass interference. It's about to be an interception.
Yeah.
And then all chaos broke loose. And then, I thought that, I think the pull the hands back, though, is where they're saying, like, well, he didn't complete the catch yet, because that's the whole argument. What is a catch?
Yeah, when does the catch start, right?
And they're saying
Which
it didn't
is really
start
tough.
probably until he hit the ground, which at that point,
then nobody touched him. And then that's the right call.
And that's what they were saying.
1-800-320-5326 or the talk back option on the iHeartRadio app. Vikes win 2017. That's Ron Johnson. I'm Corey Cove from the Power Trip Morning Show. We'll have Adam Thielen on tomorrow morning to discuss this win. We'll have Ben Lieber on to discuss this win. It'll be super fun. 5:30 to 9 tomorrow. More of Fan Line after this. This is Minnesota Vikings Fan Line on KFAN and the Fan Radio Network.
Hey, honey, we're going to the store. Want to drive?
You're letting me drive your Chevy Equinox?
Sure. Why wouldn't I?
Well, aren't you a little overprotective?
No.
Mom, you hired a pro wrestler to babysit me when I was little.
Ex-pro wrestler.
And you made me wear a helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, and eye goggles when I learned how to ride a bike.
Yeah, I did.
Do I need to remind you what happened when I went to the homecoming dance with my friends?
That's probably best left unsaid. Besides, it was my turn to chaperone.
And you're going to let me drive?
Come on, let's go.
The 2022 Chevy Equinox comes standard with 6 active safety features like automatic emergency braking and forward collision alert, because everyone could use more peace of mind. Chevy Equinox with standard Chevy Safety Assist. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Chevy Safety Assist includes automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, forward collision alert, and telebeam and following distance indicator. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the vehicle owner's manual for important feature limitations and information.
Hey, football fans, it's time to treat your family with a mouth-watering Carboni's Pizza, wings, or a hot hoagie for the game. Carboni's Pizza was voted Best Pizza Twin Cities and has been serving pizza the whole family loves since 1954. Carboni's only uses the freshest ingredients and secret recipes to ensure your family is happy every time. The legacy of 2 hopeful young Italians is still present in every visit, every exchange, and in every bite. Over 30 locations to choose from. Find yours at carbonis.com.
Hi, it's Brax with TB1 Fun. Braxton's Buddies is going great this season, but this November, I need your help. We can't provide the programs for patients without help from donors. Can you help? Please visit tb1fund.org or text TB1Fund to 56651 to make a donation today. Carousel Motor Group has offered to match all donations up to $25,000. Any size donation helps. Thanks.
Carousel Motor Group, with 8 dealerships in the metro area, is dedicated to giving back to our communities. They're also a great place to work, recently winning Star Tribune's Top Workplace in 2021 and 2022, and Top Workplace USA in 2022.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some, and blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
During Black Friday, people get as excited about appliances as Warner Stellian is every single day. We're so excited about Black Friday that we had to start it early so we could celebrate all month long. Like free dishwasher installation on brands like KitchenAid and LG laundry pairs for up to $1,400 off. And that's before Warner Stellian's exclusive 5% savings. Plus, buy more and save with our Black Friday bonus. Add a second appliance for a $100 bonus and a third for $200 for up to $800 back. Black Friday starts now only at Warner Stellian.
Sarah, how many times have you opened a door and been surprised by the amount of junk hiding behind it?
Lots of times.
Yes, and during junk reproductive season, we receive lots of boxes of new items, and there's no place to put them because all the storage spaces have gone JE.
JE?
Junk exponential.
Is this junk reproductive season?
Yes, Sarah, it is.
Have no fear. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players.
I've been all the way around the world,
rock titan, Joe Bonamassa. Performing live on Friday, November 11th and Saturday, November 12th at Orpheum Theater. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Bonamassa. Don't miss the guitar event of the year.
You're listening to The Fan.
Hey, hello, this is Phil from Ashland, Wisconsin. Just wanted to see what your opinion was on maybe the Vikings throwing in some safety blitzes, like with Harrison Smith. I know when our previous coach would throw that in, we had pretty good success rate with that. So just looking at seeing what you guys thought would be like, something to just change up the defense a little bit, just give different looks and keep some offenses on their toes.
Yeah, Ron, maybe you can help us with that. With a 3-4, I don't know how often safeties blitz in a 3-4 compared to a 4-3. Is it a similar percentage? Is it less? Is it more? How does that work?
It has nothing to do with the front.
Not at all.
No, it's all about what's behind them.
So
you got to look at.
What about his point then? You want more
safety blitzes?
Safety blitzes or not?
It's tough to do it. Like I said, it depends on what you're. So if Harrison Smith because Cam Bynum, when I interviewed him, he talked about playing corner his entire life. At Cal, and then coming here, and they right away called him before they drafted him. Hey, we're going to turn you into safety. Are you okay with that? So he wants to cover. So they'll actually use him in some wide side plays where he's going to cover and have responsibility of a guy and not just like an area. So it's tough to do that if you have a safety like that covers, because then you don't have that. Like, it's not like an Ant Harris who can help Harrison Smith. This is Cam Bynum is more of a free kind of like, hey, I'm going to go cover the tight end if he comes open. I can cover Terry McLaurin because I did it all through college. So I don't think you can just blitz like that without giving it away. That's the other problem, too. If Harrison Smith doesn't play close to the box enough this year to be able to disguise it. So you don't want to just, do it. But he's been doing it every once in a while. I think Jordan Hicks seems like more the guy now. If he's the spy, I think they said it. Like if the running back's blocking, Jordan Hicks late fires or green blitzes is what they call it, late. It's not going to be a Harrison Smith thing. I'd rather have him back there picking balls off.
Nordo and Sauce join us now from Vikings Overtime and, of course, 9 to noon in the Power Trip Morning Show. Nordo, we'll start with you. You completely buying into this team now at 7-1, or do you still have question marks? How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I have many question marks. The offensive line, there's just so many inconsistencies. So when we sat down here and had the same conversation 2 weeks ago, I don't think we have answers to any of those questions. This team comes out of the gates and just firing on everything. That 9-play drive, I think it was 9 plays to start out. They go up 7-0, and then it's just this lull. And it's a combination of like new coach guy trying to figure out how to call in the entirety of a game. Again, the offensive line, that defensive front from Washington was good, and they were battering the hell out of Kirk all game. But then it's just, once again, we had to wait for the timely turnover, right? That's how it's taken place in a lot of these games this year, where it is indeed the defense in a lot of ways with those turnovers that kind of changes the tide. I'm bought into the fight. I'm bought into the battle level. I'm bought into this team being a team and riding with that. But, man, again, we make these games so much more interesting and frustrating. I want that ref be a ref anymore. I'm so emotional and frustrated about it. I don't root for people to get fired, but I'm still so pissed and just completely, I'm vexed by it. How does that happen? How does that happen where he can collides with Cam Bynum? So I'm sitting on the fence on this one. I love what I've seen, but just the ability to put a team away, we haven't seen that aspect of it since week 1 against the Packers. It's frustrating.
Sauce buying it or not?
Yeah, I buy it because it's tough for a 7-1 team to be bad. It's tough. I know they've won a lot of 1-score games, and they could easily, be 4-3 or 4-4 or whatever it is. They could easily, but they aren't. They're 7-1. Winning in Washington on the road in the NFL is tough. The Packers showed that today. Winning on the road is tough. But that was a man-sized comeback today. You're down 10 with 13 minutes to go on the road. Washington had all the momentum. They get the interception. They get the touchdown. Then they get the other field goal after they get the ball down. And as you said, Corey, when about the last couple of plays, that is 100% the correct thing to do. You do not give them the ball back with any time left. running those plays. They didn't want to score. They even kind of stood up when Dalvin got the ball and they were going to let him kind of walk in. It doesn't matter. You don't let any of that happen. They did the right thing. And as they talked about after on the TV coverage with Kirk Cousins, they're incredible in situational football.
Yeah.
They're undefeated in that. Every time they need to make a play, they do. It's coaching, whoever it is. But this was a good team last year. They just lost the close games that they're winning now. I'm 100% in. I don't know if they beat the Bills, but I don't think they lose another game except to maybe the Bills going the rest of the way. They're a good football team.
Yeah, that last stretch was, and I don't think it was even really a hard decision. I love the clock management and game management that I've seen out of Kevin O'Connell. Again, inadequacies and imperfections that we can nitpick, and we have to in this format here right now. But just the decision-making in those moments is so calculated. They make sense. I felt at times with Zim just a lot of shooting from the hip at time. And whether it's the final 2 minutes of halves, certain decisions that they're making, again, situational football, the term that KOC himself used, and as you heard from Saucy there, I think that's a massive upgrade this year over years past. And so that's been one positive aspect. Again, as interesting as these games are versus how interesting they have to be, because we're so good in those moments, we're finding ourselves on the right side of these games. So, yeah, 7-1 is super exciting. It's just hair-raising at times.
Ron, there were some fans that were growing frustrated with the kicker, Greg Joseph.
Yeah, last week.
The last handful of weeks, that momentum is picking up a little bit to the point where it's like, what other options do we have?
Right.
If he had missed that kick at the end of the game, what would they have done?
Well, they can't trade for anybody, so you would have had to have an open kicker workout. I mean, honestly.
Here's the only reason I bring that up, and the reason why I'm asking you is Zimmer and Spielman famously thought they had a Super Bowl team, and they thought Dan Bailey was the difference, right?
Yep.
That Carlson's not good enough to kick us to a Super Bowl. Right. We're going to strike while the iron's hot. We're going to let this kid go, even though we just drafted him. Let's get Dan Bailey.
Right.
When you're 7-1, to Sauce's point, you can't be bad. I don't think the Vikings are great. This is a good team, not a great team, but a good team with a path to everything.
Yeah.
If the Vikings thought the kicker was the weakness and Greg Joseph had missed today, it would have been very interesting. I'm not saying they would have, but it would have been interesting to see if O'Connell and Kwesi would have said, we can't let a kicker cost us everything.
Or
we have
maybe
to see
he misses
what
a
other options we
regulation.
have.
He misses a regulation and comes back and wins in overtime.
Maybe.
Like, you never know.
So you think they would have done nothing?
I think the outcome of the game does
the
play
butterfly
into it a
effect.
bit.
You say that all the time.
Where, as Ron mentions, they could come back and win that game, or if indeed they do lose in overtime, you have to bring another kicker in this week and at least make it completely correct.
Yeah.
Completely obvious. You are not good right now. This can't happen. This can't continue. And I don't even know if they'd make a move. Maybe it's through the Buffalo game then, and based on how that works out, either the guy they worked out, they say bye to, or they sign him. But if he had, I can't imagine how many broken items would be in my living room if he had missed that. What was it, 28-yard field goal?
Yeah, the ref.
Come on, Greg.
Causes them a touchdown, and then Greg misses the kick. Norda would have been looking for a new house.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that we don't have to have that conversation in the Nordquist household.
Here's another weird conversation that I don't think any of us thought we were going to have 8 weeks into the season, 7-1 now. Did you gulp when you thought maybe Garrett Bradbury was out for the game and maybe beyond?
Yeah, I did. 100%.
People begging for him to be cut or traded preseason, and then when he went down, it's like, uh-oh, now what do we do?
Well,
and then he got back into the game.
Was I the only one? It took me, and I know the guy's name, Schlotman. It took me all 10 real-time seconds to think to myself as I saw him as Bradbury was on the ground, who the hell is our backup center?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember who the hell it was.
I couldn't either.
So I was super worried, and then I kind of forgot about it as Schlotman comes in on that play as he's injured. And then it was great to see that he was back, that Bradbury did return to the game. Holy bleep.
But the biggest thing about Bradbury is that Kevin O'Connell said this. I'm going to find a way. He's got to get better at X, which was pass blocking. Like, I think he can go forward. He can run the screen. We talk about how great he is getting out in space and screen. This is not a screen game team. And what we just talked about this with the Rams. The Rams use the left guard. He stands up and he looks back at the quarterback to get the final talk. He lets the center keep his eyes on the Mike backer and who he has to take care of. The Vikings are doing the same exact thing. So that's something Kevin O'Connell must have learned from Sean McVay, or maybe he bought it there, but I'm guessing learned from McVay. Because Ezra Cleveland didn't do that last year. Now he's standing up looking back at Kirk when Kirk's doing all this stuff. And then he's getting down quick and relaying that to the center or the offensive line or doing whatever. So the center is able to keep his eyes on that front in case they shift, in case a linebacker walks up, in case somebody moves over and they need to renumber the mic. Like, I think that's a huge change, too. Is like he's not having to turn. I mean, Meesoff remembers playing offensive line. Like, being down in three-point stands already, then you have to, like, squat and try to turn back and look at the quarterback and also understand where he's going. You're sweaty. You're tired. You don't know if he's about to stick his hands under your crotch. I mean, it's a lot going on. And so now you take that off the center and he's free. And now you put that on your guard, who Ezra Cleveland is extremely smart. It's working out. Like, he looks really good. We said Ed Ingram is the issue. We have not said Garrett Bradbury is an issue.
No, Ezra had a rough game today.
Yeah, Ezra had a really rough game today, yeah.
But he's got a lot on his plate.
He got put on skates, man.
But that team is big and good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they are, like, Gabe brought that up on the pregame show. Like, Gabe is, like, that team is good. We forget how, and they didn't even have, what's his name, Chase Young.
Yeah, he's a stud.
That team is, they have
you
a
mean
good
Chase
front
Daniels? No, you're right. Rosie called him Chase Daniels.
I know. You know what?
He said that. Even my gal, who's listening it back at the house, goes, the quarterback? I'm like,
he confused the hell out of me this morning.
Same.
Like, we were doing the pregame show,
and
he said, like, is Chase Daniels active? And my dumb ass is like looking up, is Chase Daniels a backup quarterback?
Correct.
And I'm like, why are we talking about Chase Daniels being active? I didn't realize until just now that you said that he was talking about Chase Young.
He did it on the bit with Muss after the game.
Rosie has all the angles.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. The Chase Daniels angle I had not considered into this one.
Where is Chase Daniels? He's somewhere.
Hasn't he made a ton of cash?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Bears fans make fun of him all the time because he keeps getting jobs.
I think he's in Kansas City.
He's somewhere. He got picked up.
Mahomes is back up. Doesn't matter.
He's either that or Las Vegas Raiders. Like, he's somewhere.
Daniel.
But I literally was looking up the Commanders' backup court because I'm like, why are we talking about Chase Daniels?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, why are we looking up Chase Daniels this early in the morning? And now he was talking about Chase Young. Okay.
No, Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne are one of the better
They are
duos.
ridiculous.
Studs.
And so they didn't. I mean, they'll want Chase Young back, and he'll be a massive boon for them. But that defensive front, and Ezra, and just kind of thinking about, like, you never say Ezra's name,
right?
Because he is so solid, and he's just so consistent and reliable. He was getting murdered today.
But they also run a lot of tight or T and split or twist. They were twisting, so they would pull him a little bit. And the sneaky, if you watch, there were some sneaky grabs that the refs don't call.
Oh, there was a brilliant move that he, I think it was Deron Payne, did on Bradbury. He just grabbed his shoulder pads
and pulled him with him,
and pulled him forward and used Bradbury's momentum to get right by him and get after Kirk.
Like, a lot of some of that stuff you're not supposed to.
That's not legal,
grab.
right?
Yeah, no, you can't grab an offensive lineman and pull him in a direction in order to help a guy twist. But again, that's stuff that doesn't get called.
That's defensive holding, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because like, if he's trying to get out and like run a screen or do something else, you can't just. Or he's trying to go block somebody else, you can't hold him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get called. So why not do it?
All right, more Vikings conversation in a second. 20-17, they beat Washington. They're up to 7-1. I guess we're just shy of halfway through the season at 8 games with 9 to go. Pretty good. That's Nordo. That's Sauce. There's Ron Johnson. I'm Corey Coe from the Power Trip Morning Show. More of your phone calls and talk back reactions after this. This is Minnesota Vikings Fan Line on KFAN and the Fan Radio Network.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Paul Allen. Know what the legendary Purple People Eaters and TimberTech Decking have in common? A dominating defense. TimberTech has the durability to hold up against Minnesota weather for decades. Not only will it not rot, warp, or splinter like conventional wood, but it looks more like real wood than any other composite brand. And with up to a 50-year warranty, you're protected season after season. Order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the boards for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Stop talking and start selling. At Sandler, we like to emphasize what we call the 70-30 rule. When you're building a relationship with your prospect, a true sales professional will spend about 70% of the time asking questions and listening, and only 30% speaking. Make a list of questions that will help you better understand your prospect's needs, problems, and goals, and truly engage the prospect in a meaningful conversation about their situation. To grow your sales, go to salespro.sandler.com, salespro.sandler.com.
At Evans, we know that defense and big stops wins you championships. But when it comes to logistics, moving forward is key. Ben Lieber here from my guys at Evans. If logistics were football, Evans would be an explosive offense, dropping dimes and hitting the gritty. Make Evans your favorite logistics team today. Evans will be your signal caller you can jump on their backs and ride to victory. Get ahead of the competition right now and have a great experience while you're at it. Visit evanstrans.com. Again, evanstrans.com.
In Minnesota, winning is everything. And on the road, that means Honda, America's most fuel-efficient, full-line automaker. And this year, Honda's made some exciting new lineup changes, starting with the all-new Honda HR-V. And coming soon, even more redesigned Honda SUVs. So don't wait. For attractive financing on Honda's all-star lineup, see your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer to reserve or buy your Honda today. Based on EPA estimate of model year 2020 full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy. 2021 EPA Automotive Trends Report.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
Hey, it's Common. You know selling a car can be a real pain in the rear end. If you've got a car sitting in your driveway that you're not using, save yourself the hassle of trying to sell it and donate it to Cars for Kids instead. Cars for Kids takes care of all the details so you don't have to. Just schedule a pickup and sign the title, and they'll handle all the paperwork. It's the fastest and easiest way to get rid of an old car anywhere in the Twin Cities. The entire process of donating your car takes about 2 minutes, and they're often able to pick up the car within 24 hours or even same day. Cars for Kids makes it so convenient, and what's more, you'll save money on your taxes. Cars for Kids works hard to sell your car for the best price, which means more money to help the kids and a bigger tax deduction for you. And after you've made your donation, Cars for Kids will send you a 3-day, 2-night hotel voucher as their way of saying thanks. It's a no-brainer. When you need to get rid of a car, donate it to Cars for Kids. Just head to carsforkids.org. That's KARS, the number 4, kids.org. Carsforkids.org.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. I gotta bounce.
Bye, Steve. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
We're heard daily in all 50 states through iHeartRadio and KFAN.com. Yeah, we're kind of a big deal. Minnesota's sports leader is the Fan.
Back to pass, out of the shotgun, to the end zone, and it is caught. Is it inbounds? Yes! Touchdown, Vikings! He's JJ! And he catches his first touchdown since week 1 against Green Bay. Kirk Cousins has come back to FedEx Field and driven his team all the way down the field to take a 6-0 lead. It's a 9-yard touchdown pass, and the Vikings lead.
And that is your local Chevy dealer drive of the game. 9 plays, 78 yards, and a touchdown to Justin Jefferson. It got it kicked off. It looked like the Vikings had everything going their way, and then they basically did nothing with the ball for 3 quarters after that. But still find a way to win 20-17. And Kevin Seifert about an hour ago tweeted out, per the Elias Sports Bureau, the Vikings are just the 4th team in NFL history to win 6 consecutive games by 1 score. The record is 7 by the 2020 Chiefs. If you look at the last 6 games, they won by 3 today, 8 against Arizona, 8 against Miami, 7 against the Bears, 3, of course, against New Orleans and London, and 4 against the Lions. So 6 consecutive wins by 1 score. Pretty solid. Just the 4th team to ever do that, fellas.
Heck yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. They're like, they may have questions, and there may be some like weird play calling things that they do, but you can't be bad and be 7-1. You just can't. That's not the way. Right. It's not the way it works.
It's like an oxymoron.
Right.
To say that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a bad 7-1 football team. They're doing things that we're not used to, and it's not a shot at Mike Zimmer, but like they have found ways to win when they shouldn't win. They don't fold. As Guardsy, I think, had the best tweet of the day when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, and the whole bit about when Heineke when the game went haywire. When hold on, let me find it here. I got it right here. He said the game turned when Washington got cocky and Heineke started clowning. He got over his skis. Good for the Vikings to just keep working, mature, love it. He's right. Like they don't get rattled like most Vikings teams that we've seen in the past. We're just not used to this, as you said all offseason, Corey, we were trying to find a coach. A young coach that gets every aspect of it and the game management and all that. It's incredible to see. You can't be bad if you're 7-1.
Yeah, and that's the difference in coaching. That's all that is. That's the difference. And not like it's a difference in coaching, like as far as good, bad. It's just a difference in now you have an offensive guy. Because I think the defense is who they are. They're like not much has changed. Like I think this DB still have the A-gap mug. You still have very coached up DBs. You still have very good talent at safety. Like you add Zadarius Smith. So it's the defense is pretty much what they've been. You just have an offense now that doesn't melt down. And I think that's what we were seeing before is the voice helping out Kirk Cousins just wasn't there. Like Kirk, we would always see him sit down. Like Aaron Rodgers right now. When he sits down, his coach doesn't even want to talk to him. Like they are not getting along right now. Aaron is on the phone talking to somebody else in the booth and then getting pissed off. Like they are not working well. Kevin, he's coming over talking to Kirk. They're getting a plan together. It's just a different offensive voice, and I think that's what we're seeing is just somebody to keep these guys together. When Kirk makes a mistake, hey, it's okay, we're going to be there. If a receiver runs the wrong route, hey, it's okay. And the defense just like, I love Patrick Peterson. He's always over there with the offense too. Like, hey, if we get them the ball back, they're going to score. And that's what you saw with that interception. I mean, these guys, the game wasn't over, and they did a bowling ball celebration before the game was over, and the defense is over there celebrating like they had won that game off that pick. Like, that's what's even crazy. That's so much confidence, and that they're about to come back out here and score and push it down their throat. They're like, you know what, let's have some fun.
I think they would have done that if they were down 30. That's kind of how the NFL works.
Harrison Smith is not doing that down 30.
They were down.
But they knew that was the play to win the game.
They didn't know that. That's what the NFL is all about celebrate. We've seen
down 30. Harrison Smith is not doing that.
We've seen Dwayne Rudd celebrate when you're down by 90.
Baker Mayfield celebrated today when they were down 35-0. Thanks,
why
Joe
not?
Mixon.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Ron. Harrison Smith walks off the field.
Exactly.
Cameron Dantzler comes out of the blue tent and onto the field to celebrate.
Maybe.
Regardless of
and
the
Chris
score.
Boyd, and yes, maybe. Yeah. But Harrison Smith and some of those Eric Hendricks, they're not, and Jordan Hicks, they're not going to be over there. And Jordan Hicks was the best part of that. Like he was the 10-pin still standing and wobble. That was awesome. That was choreographed. That was planned. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it was one of his previous picks. Harry's got the ball in his hands, and they all do the rundown. He just kind of turned around and walked away while the rest of the defense is still posing and celebrating. So
how many bowling ball pins were up there, though? It's supposed to be 10.
1,000.
There was like 25 pins.
Yeah.
Like, that was ridiculous.
Cheating. Makes it easier, though.
I think so you're right, Saucy, that you can't be bad and be 7-1. But I do feel like in some ways, like our perception of it is how do they match up in the playoffs? How would they match up with the Philly? We're going to see Dallas in a couple of weeks too. So you keep seeing these W's, which you absolutely love. You keep seeing the opportunity to maybe host a playoff game, all of those things. But then you start looking, and you're like, man, I don't see these same flaws with the Eagles. And I haven't, and then maybe you see Micah Parsons highlights, and you're like, how in the hell are we going to deal with that? So it's like you love that you're 7-1, but you're trying to project your way forward into January and feel like, does this 7-1 give us a shot against a team like Philly? And I think that's where some of the negativity and the irritation comes in.
But maybe after decades and decades and decades of this team ripping our hearts out, maybe low expectations.
You've been alive that long.
I've been alive for 42 years. You know how many Super Bowls?
Are you 42?
42.
Oh,
you look great.
You and I were at the
I
same.
know, but I just assumed you were a child prodigy. I thought you
he kind of was.
I dressed like I'm 12. That helps.
He dresses like he's selling weed at a high school. Correct. My only good comeback I've ever had on.
But my point is maybe like 98 or 09, right? Where it's like we all thought Super Bowl was a thing. Even 2000, right?
Correct.
Even 2000.
He would fit in on 21 Jump Street, like the remake.
Yeah, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Sure.
Brilliant.
But all those years,
that's the first thing that came in my head.
All those years, we thought this is a Super Bowl winning caliber team. So then you get your heart ripped out. Maybe a team that has a super good record, like 13-4.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say, Sauce. You're funny.
If it's 13-4, but we don't believe in them.
Right.
Maybe that's the perfect time to just.
I said 12-5.
Yeah, sure, whatever. 12-5, 13-4.
There's still 4 games out there. I think that it's going to fall off.
Keep winning games like this. Where we're like, nah, we don't think they can do it though.
Right.
Then this is the year they surprise us and just find a way to do it when we don't expect them to do it.
They just can't get their butts kicked like the Eagles game. Like that's demoralizing. If you lose by 3, it hurts. We're going to be on here talking about like what they should have done, but they still competed and they were in it. You cannot get blew out like the Eagles. But you just can't get blown out.
Right, but when you just win 6 consecutive games against a couple of really bad teams, right?
Right.
In these last 6 games, there's some bad teams in there. When you win 6 straight by
lost
one
to the
score,
Lions, though,
right?
so.
But when you win 6 straight by one score, by definition, you're razor's edge here. You're living on a tightrope, right? The Vikings are not going 16-1, so you're going to sprinkle in some losses. Maybe have strings together some losses. So let's just say it's 12-5. I think all of us would be thrilled before the season started if you said this is a 12-5 team. They're going to win the division.
Right.
We'll take it 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I said that. People said I was a rube, and I'm just.
I said the same thing.
I'm just
crazy
here
unrealistic.
I'm just trying to like suck up to the Vikings and blah blah.
Well,
like
you were preseason, even if you look like a genius now, you were almost insane.
You weren't going to go 7-10. No chance.
Me, Gabe, and Tatum, we broke it down. I was
shocking! You 3 picked 12-5. I wonder
they didn't pick. They can't pick, so that's why they bring me and PA and Libra. I forgot who, and then Bursic, I think, did it too. So. Hey.
Oh, yeah, all objective people.
Very objective.
No doubt. I'm glad they don't let Gabe and Tatum do it and let objective people like you,
outsiders.
Lieber, Bursic,
outsiders.
People that work for the Vikings Entertainment Network. I'm glad they are objective and pick 12-5.
12-5.
This would be the year, though, where they're battle-tested. They've pissed us off. Can't wait for them to get in the playoffs and screw this thing up.
And then just rock it.
But seriously, other than the Cowboys.
And then they just house the whole
Other
thing.
than the Cowboys and Bills, though, who else do you see them losing to, Nordo?
Other than the Bills right now, they'll be favored in every single game.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like
Jordan
the way
Love
it's
will be
set
starting
up.
for the Packers. But he will. He will.
Getting the Cowboys.
By what week?
By the end, when we play them second to last game of the year.
Aaron will give up?
Yeah.
This 3-game stretch right here with the Buffalo Bills and then the Cowboys, I love that we get them at home, but that's going to be a tough game.
325.
And I'll even say Thanksgiving night, man, Belichick's team's weird and it's stupid, and I hope we pick off Mac Jones 3 times, but that team balls. Like, they figure out ways to, kind of similar to how Washington, the reason that Washington is such a pain in the ass because they drill everything down to like these simple moments. And we were better than Taylor Heineke, and we figured out how to just wait around until he bleeped it up, and he ultimately did. But teams like them and the New England Patriots condense games.
How
so
hyped
that
up
just
though are people going to be
grinds.
after eating all that turkey and drinking all that
Everybody's got Monday, Friday off too.
Like that is going to be ridiculous.
So, we just threw out the number 12.
Are we going to have old fashions on the air? Can we drink on the air?
I don't think anybody's going to stop us.
Okay.
If they go 12-5, right, that sounds like a solid record. But that would mean 5-4 the rest of the way. If they're a 500-ish team the rest of the way, is that a massive disappointment?
No. This is the thing about what I look at. So, you know what? So after just saying that, yes, depending on how they lose and who they lose to.
Yeah, that's a massive
That's where I think.
That's a massive disappointment.
Yeah, again,
if they finish 500 the rest of the way, that's a massive disappointment.
I mean, we have like the Jets are here. Jets are better. You got Colts and then Giants.
Jets beat the Bills today.
I know, because starting off, the Colts were actually a team I picked to beat the Vikings because everybody thought Matty Ice was going to get them. That's all they needed. They had Jonathan Taylor and. Yeah, they're terrible now.
No, but we have a chance to win, and we have that 9th home game because of the 17-game schedule now. I mean, we could go 8-1 at home. I mean, just put a loss, maybe if we lost to the Cowboys or if we lost to the Jets or maybe the Giants.
Right.
To go 8-1 at home alone, combined with now you have road wins. You have road wins in Miami and now Washington. I mean, and we're still going to Detroit. I mean, we have to be a 13 or 14 win team.
Yeah, only 4, to your point, Nordo.
This
only
is
4
funny.
road games the rest of the
Jets Vikings game was not intriguing, but now you think about Sauce Gardner versus Justin Jefferson.
Sauce is a badass.
That's going to be a big time matchup. Like Sauce versus Jefferson. Like that's going to be a good one.
Man, think of me against him. He'd have 5,000 yards. I'd walk off the field.
Without a referee, you might be able to hold him, though.
Yeah, good point. No, I couldn't catch him.
Fellas, are you going to discuss the Vikings game on Vikings Overtime? Is that your plan?
Should we just take calls about Joe Mixon?
I'm sure we'll talk about the ghost tomorrow. How about, you know what else we have to talk about? Did you hear the thing with Chris and Pete?
Yeah. I haven't heard. I don't
know the details yet.
But we got a little bit of an inside a squeeze from Abbott as we were walking in. He was walking out. He said Indiana hockey came out.
And the police got involved. I can't wait to hear the details tomorrow that apparently
is hockey like some big time fighting like protector?
Well, some guy tried
Indiana
to get
Chris.
I think there was a Washington rube that may have gotten fresh.
Yeah, you don't.
And tried to interrupt the broadcast.
Can't wait to hear it. That's tomorrow, 5:30 to 9. We'll talk Washington Rube controversy with Chris and how the police got involved and Indiana Chris had to come out.
Are you going to bring up the 2009 team? They bought that up. First time since 2009.
Yeah.
And then you know what happened when they were leaders. Okay.
Yeah, we like to ignore that
2009
mostly.
sucked.
Vikings overtime is next. Power Trip tomorrow morning, 5:30 to 9. We'll discuss that incident with the fan. We'll talk to Thielen. We'll talk to Lieber. It'll be purple heavy tomorrow morning, 5:30 to 9. Nordo and Sauce next. For Ron Johnson, I'm Corey Coven. This has been Minnesota Vikings Fan Line on KFAN and the Fan Radio Network.